Here are 8 things that you should be doing every spring on your lawnmowers to help save you money and headache. Let's get into it. First up, let's talk about the engine and specifically the oil, which is going to be the heart of the machine. Make sure you're checking it regularly, especially in the spring. You should be changing your oil every year regardless of hours on the machine. Another aspect of the engine that you want to check, and this is more if you're having a hard time getting fuel to the engine, is your fuel filter right here. If this starts getting really dirty, hard to see through any of the plastic at all, could be a sign that you need to replace that. Super easy, 2 clips here and here, you can pop in your new one. While we're on the engine, if it's starting hard or maybe sounding a little funny when it's idling, it doesn't hurt to check the spark plug. If you see any dark corrosion, especially around this top part or that lip is bent, make sure you swap out your spark plug. It's a cheap and easy fix. If the oil is the lifeblood of the engine, the air filter are the lungs. Really important to keep these clean. If you have one that looks like this, it's probably more for a residential mower. Otherwise, you probably have one that looks a little more like this. A good rule of thumb, if it's dirty or not, take a look on the inside, hold it up to the sun, and if you can see light coming through, you're okay. You can still use compressed air on the inside to blow out dirt. If it's getting really bad, you can't see sun through it anymore, it's time to toss it, put a new one in. Let's talk about sharpening blades. Should be done every year, multiple times a year, depending on how much grass you're cutting. One really important thing when you're sharpening a blade, don't just sharpen the outer edge here. If you do that, what's going to happen is the blade's going to eventually start to roll down and get too blunt to actually cut grass well. You want to be sharpening this entire stretch here, which means you may be sharpening on the back edge and grinding off more than you would on the front. Since we're talking about blade operations, another important thing to check every year is going to be your belts that are driving your blades. If you see any nicks or cracks or any fraying in the belts, it's time to replace them. They're going to break on you sooner than later. Another aspect that's real important with regard to cutting is setting your tire pressures to the correct number. Now that doesn't necessarily mean setting it for the PSI that's on the tire. If you're on really bumpy terrain, you may let out a little air and have it be a little softer so it's not quite so jostling. But you do want to have them be equal so that you're not pulling to one side or another or having an uneven cut. Depending on your model, you may have grease points on your front casters or near your pulleys that need to be addressed. Just make sure you're consulting your operator's manual. It'll tell you what type of grease you need and where they're located at. For all the parts you might need for these tips, stop on by to one of our stores, or you can shop online, lanoequip.com. We'll see you on the next one.